Hello everyone, welcome to a battle courtesy of the Napoleonic Wars League. And here we see, in the form of the French, it is the 4E. They've lost somebody already, oh dear. And their opponents this evening are the 96Y. So, they are in as the Russians. So, let's see how these guys get on. So there you can see Lieutenant General Stefan leading the lads forward. There's Owind, Karoro, Cease, or Cess maybe? I don't know. There's Loran and Ulysses, Pony, Skykrim or Cykrim, Saunier, I suppose it could be. Oh my goodness. Squillatord, Lovecat, Diablo 595, there's Lahouche, and Drakendark, here's Floral 00, and Toxic DC. So, those are the members of the 4E involved in the battle this evening. Now, let's see if we can lock in. Here they are, the Ruskies. There's Megavolt, and there's Grenadier Yoda from the 96Y, making sure that Descent gets back into line. You can see the guys leading forward there. Look at that. Handsome devil with a clay pipe in his mouth. That is Kill. With the fellows from the 96Y, and you can see them moving up. Now there's Timefall moving back as well. So the 96Y looking for a situation where they can engage the enemy. And look at the distance. That's got to be at least 500 meters, and you well know that the musket's not going to have that kind of reach. Any shots will definitely be a Hail Mary kind of shot anyway, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And look at this. A desolate desert plain. Oh my goodness, there we go, an about face there by the 96Y. Love those about faces that these regiments do. Always looks fantastic. And the reason they are doing that is to jostle, to try and get to the best position on their opponent. Preferably some kind of outflanking maneuver. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Get in there, get the maximum number of kills, do the damage, and then break an attack for the melee. So, we fly over the rocks, over the humps in the sand, and make our way over to the 4E. And here, oh no, we're going to go back. There we go, we're back with Stefan. Look at that fine beard. I'm not sure about the braids, but never mind. So, he spies the enemy, or possibly a rock, across the desert. And, of course, our old friend, two-dimensional bird, is watching the battle as always. Look at this. Our watchful, ever-patient friend, Mr. Two-Dimensional Bird. So, look at that distance between the two regiments. You can see over there on the left-hand side, the 4E, pretty bunched up as they are supposed to be, while the members of the 96Y are spread as they make a move from one location to the next. And you can see them trying to get round. They don't want to get up too close. We'll have to wait and see. Now, let's see. As the members of the Russian army, there's Grenadier Naresh, Megavolt, Timefall, there's Senna, there's Clever, and there's Lord, and there's Footy, and there Hunter 491, Nanix, Shogun, Yoda, Descent, and last at the back here, poor tail end Charlie, is Grenadier Ben. So Benji is trying to catch up as best he can. And you can see only 2 dead. 1 dead on the Russian side, 2 dead, of which one of their French dead is here. Hello, dead person. So, the French will now move out, and this is where they begin the jostling for the better position. You can see the 2 regiments making their way towards each other, looking to try and get the most advantageous position making use of the hills and the dips in the hills to essentially provide them extra cover from the approaching musket balls. You gotta watch for the approaching musket balls. And there we go. You can see them pulling back slightly. Now, obviously, looks like maybe a little bit more of a indentation in the sand here, but it seems to be all right. I thought they were going to maybe pull back to the rock area, but no. This is a point where they can now see their enemy a lot easier, and you can see them trying to find the range as the members of the 4E make their way across the sand. And now you can see them trying to get round to the side, get to that all-important flanking position where the cover of the hills does not provide them with much. But there we go. You can see there the 96Y moving, the 4E continuing to push now. You can see them relatively spread out. They can take some casualties here if the 96Y plan to try and get into that position. And this could be the first confrontation. Look at that. You see them pausing briefly. Got to try and get that line ready to go. And there we go. It looks like the Russians have formed the line. The 96Y have formed the line. And now you can see the 4E moving in even closer, trying to get that all-important flank. Look at this. The two lines. And, oh, look at that. And an about face by the 96Y. And this is literally like a chess game, boys and girls. And there we go. The 96Y come to a halt. And they're going to start firing as a line as the 4E moves around and then forcing the 96Y to pull back. Look at this. Fantastic stuff coming in from both regiments. About face there by the 96Y. The 4E continue to move in. And this could be, look at this, side by side. And there we go. They form the line. And there goes the 4E line firing into the 96Y. Several of the 96Y have been felled, but then returning fire into the 4E comes the 96Y, and they then move immediately the 4E down to take a pot shot at the 96Y, and you can see some of the 96Y have been slain. Oh dear, look at this. This is the stand-up fighting we've come to associate from Napoleonic Wars, and down goes Tynefall. And you can see Clever's also been finished off from the 96Y, and look at that. And you can see there the admin making sure that the gaps are filled. As per the rules, the 96Y taking more damage, but they've got a slight advantage with numbers over the 4E. Oh, it might actually be very, very equal. Let's see. 7 versus 8, the Russians have one advantage. One man advantage. This is going to be a break and attack. And they're going to form a line. They're going to go in for a quick pot shot before they can. They take down Lural. Or Luaron, I should say. Apologies, Luaron. And there we go. The break and attack by the 4E and the 96Y. Break and attack. Bring out the 19 or the 17-inch bayonets. And look at that. You can see them immediately break off into two sections. Got a section on the left, section on the right. They're going to be trying and get the advantage. You can see there the 96Y going 2-on-1. That then gives them the advantage. Down goes one of their teammates up ahead. And now you can see them fighting for the advantage. The Russians are losing the battle over on the side. No, they're not. Oh, look at that. I thought they were going to lose it on the left-hand side, but the Russians managed to turn it around for that first round in this Napoleonic Wars League between the 96Y and the 4E. So, 1-0 to the 96Y. Let's see what happens. And the pew-pew coming in from Stefan with that awesome, of course. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. The 4E have lost a couple of people. But the numbers still remain relatively good. You do have some people still sitting, waiting in the spectator to take over from any person who drops because their client crashes or whatever. So, let's see. The 4E, a couple of casualties courtesy of dead games where essentially the game has crashed on them or they've been disconnected, something similar to that. So let's go in and see what the 96Y are up to. And there's Narish. And here is Kill. Keeping the boys close, keeping them together, keeping them down the back of the brow of the hill there for that cover that it provides. Obviously, only provides cover to the front, doesn't produce a lot of cover from the side. If they get round, that's why they're going to be going for that all-important flanking manoeuvre. And they see their quarry in the far distance, probably going on for 300 metres plus. So a few experimental range-finding shots coming in from the 96Y to see if they can make any kind of a difference. We'll have to wait and see how that works out for them. And listen, you can hear the bullets. Oh, the plinking of the bullets at distance. Those musket balls, deadly accurate. Couldn't hit a barn door from 2 feet, but never mind. So, there's Olwind at the back. I kept calling him Oswind, apologies. There's Olwind at the back, Grenadier of the 2E. Grenadiers, lovely, lovely stuff. And you can see he's the tail end Charlie. Grey beard, man of much experience. So, look at this. The outflanking begins, immediately forcing the 96Y to move their position to try and get back to a position of cover against the movement attempts of the 4E. There we go. The about face is given by the 96Y. Are they going to be able to form the line quickly enough? Let's just wait and see what happens. And now you can see, there we go, another about face there by the 96Y. And the 4E immediately go about face. And it might be an opportunity for the 96Y to do some damage to the 4E, but no. Look at that, another about face there by the 4E. Oh, fantastic stuff to watch. I do love watching this stuff. And there we go, the 96Y about to move into position. And there we go, they form the line and immediately the 4E change their direction. And we thought they were going to form up a line, but it looks like the line is not going to happen yet. They're still moving. And they're literally pretty much neck and neck right here. And look at this, the 2E and the 4E and the 96Y getting close. It's just a matter of when they're going to form the line first. And I think it might be the 96Y. They're up ahead. Yes, they are. Down goes poor Kororo. And Tretz as well, and there's the about face, and there's the line forming at the other direction. And now, as a result of that, they're going to try and take out as many of the 96Y as they can. And the 96Y have lost quite a few people right there, but they're firing back into the 4E, and the 4E have now broken an attack. And it's time to go in for the melee, and you can see them essentially breaking up to try and enclose the entire line of the 96Y. But the 96Y has broken and attacked. And you can see them now being separated out into their various little subgroups. Now, this could be a difficult situation here. You obviously got the officer, the Manion is the officer, trying to defend himself. So these guys are 2v2, and now you've got more Russians coming in to assist. As down goes another Russian to rebalance it slightly. So there you can see two Russians, 3 French. And the balance is slightly off, and this is the problem. You can't watch behind you all the time. As now the French forces are going in after the 96Y. Let's go and have a look at the main block. Here we go, see? 2 on 1. And fighting is continuing. Look at this. And that was Mikai, or Makik, from the 96Y. A great attempt at defense, but there was too many of them. And this is now, look at this, the containment beginning by the 4E as they move in to try and contain these boys and get in and do some kind of surround. Look at this. Oh, this is not going to go well for the 96Y. Currently backpedaling. There's Senna, who's just died. Last man standing. It's Shogun. And he's fighting the entire French army, who currently are coming over to diddle him with large 17 inches. And that's exactly what happened. He has been well and truly diddled. So, a claim of another round there. So, I think the 4E are going to be pleased with that. Good melee at the end. And look at that, they're taking pot shots at the enemy already. Trying to get any kind of damage, anything that can basically move the game in their general direction with the point of view of any kind of advantage. So, it means, you know, the kind of bullets, the odd plink or whatever that will actually just a little bit of damage that could mean that they pare the numbers down significantly. Oh, lovely volley coming in from the 96Y as Kill checks down through his spyglass to find the enemy out here in the desert where they are busy emptying the sand out of their underwear somewhere. Here they are. So easy to lose them. Imagine what it's like to shoot at them. Yeah, not easy. Not easy. So we move in on the 4E as they're making their way forward. Here are all the lads. And at the back, there is Toxic DC. So, fine Grenadier. And you can see these guys. And there you can see their enemy in the center of the screen. Watched over by Mr. and Mrs. Two-Dimensional Bird. And you can see this is what they're going for. Those basic first few shots. Trying to get a nice range. But it's a difficult thing to get, especially in this game. A shot beyond 100 meters. So, we continue to watch the 4E as they make their way round. And in comes fire, you can see there from the 96Y. Oh, good pistol shot, sir. Very effective. Gotta love the pistol in Napoleonic Wars. Completely and utterly ridiculous. You might as well throw sand at them. So, anyway, let's go over and see how the members of the 96Y are getting on. Now, bear in mind that the 96Y does have one less man. So, it is 17 versus 16. And obviously, a shout out to all the spectators. And, of course, to fellow YouTuber in there, Mike Durfor. Which is probably not how it's pronounced, but I apologise for that anyway. So you can see some of these guys, just better by the squelch that you heard, that some of these guys have had their health knocked down by some nice bullet shots coming in from the 4E. So that might give the 4E at the crucial moment a bit of an advantage. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So the spyglass comes out and Kill gets the guys formed up as the 4E are in progress. Look at this. The 4E are underway. Now, this is where the chess bit begins. They're moving into the advantageous position coming in. The 96Y are holding their line. They haven't managed to find the range yet on their opponents. The 4E decide to form. Correction! Laurent gets taken down, but look at this. The 4E seem to have a good range, and I think they've got the slight advantage when it comes to numbers. 4 versus 2, so yes, the Russians have definitely lost more. And there we go. Oh, more casualties on the 4E side. But they are returning the fire into the enemy and trying to kill as many as they can. So it's pretty equal right now between the two regiments. Oh, look at that! Fine shot there by Stefan into Grenadier Ben from the 96Y. So, and you can see more of the 96Y falling. 9 versus 6. So let's just have to wait and see how things go. And there we go. Now you can see the 96Y are pulling back, reforming, regrouping. And goodness me, what a lovely shot into Owen there, coming in from Timefall. And there's Descent. Doesn't she look buxom? As these guys are firing back. But look at this. The reduced numbers of the 96Y. This could be a moment for the 4E to listen to me sneeze. Oh, my apologies. Phlegm ejection on the internet, how we like it. Anyway, oh my goodness, where's he gone? Oh, they left without him. Kill. They decided to do an about face, and look at this. They now move round, and they're going in for a few shots, and they take down a few members of the 4E as they come charging in. And there's now the melee moment here. As you can see, look at this. You've got the like of Descent trying to move round the side to encompass the French. And they've got to watch out to make sure that that doesn't happen. And look, the whole line, the line is literally just wheeling around like that as the Russians push in a little bit further. Oh, goodness me, look at all those casualties of the Russian forces. And there we go. You can see the first attacks on the melee as it's now breaking up into its little subgroups. But you can see now the French literally being contained. Let's wait and see. Oh, they're running for it. They're cheesing it. Who's the man cheesing? There's a serious amount of cheese going on. And it's kill. And he's trying to make the... And there we go. He turns and goes in for an attack. And now rejoins his forces. And this is where you see the line. You can see the Russian line expanding slightly over to the right-hand side to try and encompass the French. But the French get the first kill on the right-hand side. Now you can see as the line starts to actually collapse on the right-hand side, they're starting to try and encompass and surround the French. And now this is where they're breaking off into the subgroups. Down goes another member of the 96Y. And now this is definitely an advantageous situation for the French. Oh, it's looking good for the 4E. And look at that. Wow. 2-1 in favour of the 4E versus the 96Y on tonight's Napoleonic War League. Napoleonic Wars League, even. Hard to believe that English is my first language. I know, it's strange. What can you say? So you got to be careful. You don't want to be running with the spyglass. If you trip over, spyglass goes straight through your eye, out the back of your head, and that's it. You're done. So, the 96Y moving out. And all these fine fellows, who I do believe are mostly Polish. Look at that. I could be wrong. But either way, my immediate neighbour where I live, the white guy who lives in the flat just opposite me, is Polish. And a wonderful gentleman. So, and they've always been a huge part of the Napoleonic War community. Always see them in many, many forms. Many, many regiments. So, let's just go and see what's going on with the 4E. Oh, sorry, yes, the 4E. Yeah, they're still down by one person. So, following in behind his commander is Toxic DC. He was at the back previously. So, who's the tail end Charlie this time? It's Owind, ESO, Grenadier. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Poor old Luron. And Diablo as well. Oh, dear. The shots coming in from the 96Y, finding their mark. Very nice shooting indeed. Oh, see what I mean? Toxic also taken out. This is going to be a very tricky situation for the 4E. They're already down by 2, possibly 3 men there. And this is going to be a situation where they need to get in. And there we go. Because they're coming around the side here on this potential outflanking, that has forced the 96Y to immediately change their position. So, we'll have to wait and see how this turns out for them. As you can see now, the 96Y moving to the left. And the 4E trying to circle round. Look at this. Ring of roses. And there we go. Are they going to try and move in? They're just trying to get that advantage. And because everyone's moving at the same speed. Oh, there we go. The 96Y form the line. The dodging begins. Here are the other 4E. But no, they decide to move that little bit closer to try and push the advantage. There we go. Look at that. An about face by the 96Y meant they could quickly form a line. They got a shot off. They managed to kill poor old Floral. So poor old Floral is no more. And now you can see the 96Y moving in the opposite direction. And about faces. The 4E here are looking to get into an advantageous position. Can they do it? There we go. Look at them moving forward. Oh dear. Down goes Drakendark, Sergeant Major of the 4E. And they're trying to push their advantage. Trying to push their advantage. Let's see how they get on. Let's get up high. As you can see, these two guys, literally, we could be here for a while with these lot just going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And it's 16 versus 12, so the Russians have the advantage when it comes to numbers. And there's the line forming. Could this be a moment for the 96Y to pare down the numbers even more? Oh, look at this, and they got a few of the 96Y coming in from that quick line formed by the 4E. Now they fire back into the 4E, the 96Y, claiming a few casualties, trying to even the numbers if they possibly can. Oh, look at that. And now it looks like they're charging in for a little bit of melee. And it's 8 versus 12, so definitely the Russians have the advantage. The 4E have got to be very careful to make sure they don't get surrounded as down goes Owind. And you can see the 4E fighting as best they can, but it might be a case of overwhelming numbers. And look at this. This is the surrounding that we were worried about as far as the 4E are concerned. Now they've got to fight off 4 men. Look at that. These guys trying to back up as best they can. They've got to watch out behind them for these kind of guys who are coming in to attack from behind. Down goes another member of the 4E. There's one man fighting for his life. And it is brutally ended with the bayonet. And that was Saunter. And now it's 2-2 between the teams. The 4E and the 96Y. And now is the chance to pause for some libations. The all-important wetting of the whistle that is required. And look at this. Already firing at the enemy. The 4E trying to get a few hits onto the 96Y. But we'll have to wait and see. Can they trim the numbers at all? Nope, they decide not to form there. And now they've got to make their way in snaky formation. Anytime they move, they have to be in formation. And obviously, they've got to be in a line in order to fire. So, let's just do it this way. It's quicker. And there's Toxic DC at the back again. Look at this long line of 4E. Doesn't it look fabulous? And there's Stefan, Lieutenant General. And there's Owind. And Karoro. Oh, and we're off to see the Russians. Okay. Narish, Grenadier of the 96Y. Oh, look at this. A bit of pre-battle teabagging going in from Shogun. And looks like the line decided to reform and move. And we can see the puffs of smoke from the horizon coming in from the 4E. Those long-distance shots. You can see the puffs in the sand as the balls bounce. Yeah, make of that whatever you will. So, let's find out what they're up to, shall we? Now, here's Saunier. And Stefan. Vive indeed. As always, the headbangers. Squelly-Tord. And Luan. And there's Toxic DC waiting for the off. I wouldn't even know. I don't even want to know what's going on over here between Lovecat and Adjutant Saxon. The mind boggles. So, where could their enemy be? Hiding their position. Quite well. So we are looking from their point of view. And obviously the commander seeking out the enemy. Now, obviously with a map like this, it's very hard to be able to sneak up on the enemy. So let's see if we can find out what they're doing. Oh, look at this. Senna currently at one with nature. Oh, goodness me, look at this. It's a interesting formation, like a cross formation. Very nice. So, keeping all the guys together. But will it serve them any purpose when the fire from the 4E comes in their direction? But right now, they don't really give a crap because they're doing their calisthenics. Got to have fit Russians. Fit Russians all the time. So, let's see. Strange goings on. Now, Let's see if we can find out what the French are up to. Oh, look at that pistol shot. The first shot in anger. So, what is going on? Now, let's see. Mighty Payne. Oh, Mighty Payne's game crashed. The admin, his game crashed. So, he dropped, unfortunately. Now, we move in to the likes of Stefan. And there is the quarry he is seeking. You can see them forming a quick line. Long distance shots in the general direction of the Russians. Listen to those pinging of the bullets. Well, the musket balls, not really bullets per se. And here they are. The 96Y moving out. Trying to look for that all-important location. And what's going on here? Looks like some people. Some tail-end Charlie's descent. And there's Clever. Trying to make sure that everyone stays together. So the lines are a little bit broken up. That's going to actually delay them in forming a long line to attack the enemy, to shoot back. But we'll have to wait and see. But now you can see. They can see the enemy, the 4E. And they can start moving up. Get a closer position. And you can see that literally using these hills to protect them from the fire. And if possible to mask their approach. And there we have it. The 96Y forming a line. They can't fire until they're in that line. With a few shots back against the enemy. And there we go. You can see in the far distance the enemy making their way into one of the indentations in the sand to hide their movement. And now you can see them start to move round the side to get closer. If they can sneak up along this section here. It's a possibility. But you can see them moving ever closer. See, this could be a possibility down this section here. But obviously, the difficult thing is keeping your approach hidden from your enemy. So, look at this. Over the top of the hill ahead, there's a man with a spyglass. And so their position is now known. And you can see him checking. Oh, well done. That's what you call an optimistic shot. Especially with that gun. So, look at this. There's the enemy. There's the 4E's enemy. And they don't appear to be doing much moving yet. I think it's kind of a bit of a standoff. And we're waiting to see what happens. Neither team really wants to move. Neither regiment wants to move. Because that may give the other regiment the advantage. So this is the difficulty that occurs. Because they could lose 2 or 3 men as a result of that encounter. And that could essentially spell doom for that particular round. So, look at this. Let's make peace. And there we can see a little bit of a movement from one of the officers. As there does not appear to be a huge amount going on. But don't they look handsome? Look at this lot. Oh, there we go. Bit of fire coming in. As it looks like the 96Y decided to make a move. So they have moved ever closer to their enemy. So here you can see Descent now marking the front of the line. And still we have the Lieutenant General checking the hill. Stefan with the boys of the 4E waiting for the command to engage. Look at this. Russians slowly creeping up on the French. Kneeling down to keep his position a little bit more hidden. So, essentially, a standoff, I suppose, in any kind of serious way. But they got 49 minutes in which to actually do something, so this could possibly be all over very quickly, or this may possibly be the most boring round ever in the history of Napoleonic Wars. In which case, you might even hear a gunshot at the end of the cast, but never mind, we'll see. So, the guys from the 96Y, some of them getting a little antsy. Here's Shogun, ready for the off. Now, let's have a look over here. As we wend our way over and find the 4E moving out. So the 4E making their way over at the same time. The 96Y form a little bit of a line. Now, question is, will this work to the advantage of the 4E? Now they're moving out as the bullets are plinking and plonking all around them. The ricochets that we see in the sand. But I think the 4E want to get themselves into a strong position to then engage the 96Y. They've not suffered any casualties as of yet. But I've got to be careful with commentators' curse. As you can see, look at this. The 4E moving around, forcing the 96Y to move back. This could be an opportunity that they're seeking. Just have to wait and see what happens. Look at this, the two lines right next to each other. Oh, there we go, and it looks like the 96Y are formed first, and the dodging begins as the 4E then moves in even closer as the 96Y take a casualty. But they move over, and you can see a shot each for each of the teams. One casualties, and 96Y are losing people from the 46. Sorry, from the 96Y, they're losing people courtesy of the 4E. And there we go. There goes a nice shot coming in from Senna. And Laurent takes down Alex 123. And fire unloading. I think full. But never mind. He's been slain. And now you can see fire coming in to the 96Y. As more members of the 4E get taken down. And look at this. This is definitely an advantageous position for the 4E, and the 96Y being told about the gaps in the line. So, oh dear, there's a lot of gaps now. As Nanix gets murdered, as does Clever. Oh dear. And Kill goes in, kills poor old Squeltord, and is now fighting for his life against the French army. And yeah, that was kind of inevitable. So there we go. It's time for a side swap. And as you can see, everyone's drunk the Napoleonic Kool-Aid. And the admin has been kind enough to swap everybody over to the other sides. So here you can see the 96Y. And then, obviously, our thanks to the admins and for everyone who organises this league. Grateful thanks to them. All their hard work. Keeping the community going after so many years. Fantastic stuff. So, let's see. Let's hope the next round didn't take as long as the previous one. The kind of standoff that does occur from time to time. So there we go. You can see the 4E taking pot shots at the 96Y already. See if they can do some damage. Here's kill. And we'll fly. Actually, no, what we'll do is we'll look at where he's going to. Because if you look here, he's actually going to try... Oh, no, he's going to form a line. But he can actually make his way down the sort of indentations here. But also the problem he has is he'd have to make his way over to this bit. Because otherwise he's in danger of leaving himself in an open plain area with not a lot of cover. So, let's wait and see. Here we go. They're lining up. 96Y getting ready, trying to form that line. Oh, there we go. They pull back slightly. And they're going to start to... Oh, it looks like they were going to pull back there. And you can see the 4E line up ahead. Now starting to move out as the 96Y getting themselves together. There we go. They now move out. And now this is an opportunity here for the 4E to get their folks into position. And they're going to come under fire. And now down goes Zororo and Owind and Squeltord. And the line of the 4E forms. And poor old Grenadier Ben gets killed. But no, look at that. They didn't get many casualties onto the 96Y. Which means now, look at that. The Russians have 3 dead. Whereas the French only have 1. So they have a slight advantage. But it may not last long as the about face then begins again. Look at this. The 2 lines snaking next to each other. There's the about face. But the French decide to keep moving. And look at this. Round and round and round they go. Where they stop, nobody knows. Look at this. There we go. There's an about face. And they're going to try and form a line. Look at this. In come the 4E. And they've tried to form a line. But it doesn't look like they got any successful shots. And now immediately the about face. Forcing their enemy to about face. So here is the 4E with Stefan. Pulling the lads forward. Trying to get them into a good position. But it looks like their opponents, 96Y, have a slight advantage. Hence the about face there. By the members of the Russian army. Let's see. Now they start to pull back. To move to a position that's got a little bit more cover. Forcing the 96Y immediately to move to a better location. This is going to be an opportunity for these guys to get their reload in as quickly as they can. They won't have much opportunity to do it as there again. The 96Y turnabout face. And now you can see the 96Y forming the line. And being taken down by 2 shots. 3 shots from the 4E. They returning into the fire of the 4E as well. And more fire coming in from the 96Y. Let's see. 9 versus 11. The French have the advantage. So, let's see how this goes for them. You can see the French trying to group around their enemy. Oh dear, look at this. Stefan, it's hot officer on officer action. Kill versus Stefan, but Stefan's up against 2. Oh, fine turn and a stab there by Stefan. Oh, nice stab going in. And Stefan's in trouble. Yes, he's dead. Murdered by Kill, who is then promptly killed himself. Living up to his name, sadly for him. 2 members of the Russian army remain. And the 4E, it is Diablo 595 and Pony. Corporal Pony. Look at this. And they're in danger. And look at that. He dives on the inside but gets killed. And the last man standing, Diablo 595, falls. And we move on to the next round. Well, I take a slurp of drink. Slurp, slurp. What a lot of people don't realise is when you're doing this kind of thing, the throat can dry out quite quickly. I've had that problem before. So it's always a good idea, you know, to keep a little bit of liquid refreshment nearby to enable you to prevent that from going all croaky and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Anyway, look at that. The fire coming in already. And what's the bet? Is that the 4E? No, actually, it's the 96Y this time. They are the ones who've got the first shots off against their opponents. And it looks like none of them actually managed to hit that hard. There might be a few. Let's have a look at the legs. There doesn't appear to be any damage to these guys. There's no blood or anything along those lines. So I think they may have got away with that. And so now the 4E are moving closer to the 96Y to see if they can actually get into a better position to perform a line and have a pot shot at them. And here we go. The snake battle. As these two regiments line up against each other. Under the control of their commanding officers. Who's going to be telling them when to move. When to about face. And there we go. Speaker. Look at that. Oh, an about face coming in from the 96Y. Oh, look at that. And some people didn't. Oh dear, some people didn't get the order quick enough. And there we go, fire into the 96Y. And look at this. The back to front, and they're back over in this direction as the members of the 4E. Down goes Toxic DC. And look at this line. This could be a serious situation, but no. The 4E move into a flanking position. They form up the line, and they're going to try and engage, but no, they didn't get there quick enough. And the enemy has moved again. So kill, and the 96Y again, an about face. Whoops-a-daisy. Obviously, let's have a look at the pings. You'll have some people in there. Look at that. The ping is relatively well spread. As there we go. Now you can see the 96Y moving a little bit closer, trying to close the range. You can see trying to get the lines a little bit closer if they possibly can. That's going to cause a problem for them forming the line when they go in for the attack, which is what they're looking to do now. Oh, but look at that. They decided to form and then unform very quickly as the members of the 4E form up another line to try and get back at their enemy. And there we go, the fire. Looks like they won't be able to do it. Look at that. That's the shots that they'll have. So immediately the members of the 96Y about face to try and get the advantage against the 4E. Here is the 96Y. Line looks slightly bigger. Might just be a false illusion. There we go. And the about face coming in immediately from the 96Y. And then a response straight away from the 4E doing exactly the same. And there we go. The 96Y is forming a line. And an about face there by the members of the 4E. As the 96Y decide to pull back and try and form a line as quickly as they can as the 4E is getting closer and closer and closer. And here is the line forming up courtesy of the 4E. A couple of them got the shots off. And now they decide to move back slightly. Look at this. Forming up the line there on the far right. And there we go, the fire going in as the 96Y are taking a few casualties. We just lost Louron and Triers and Diablo as the 4E have suffered a few casualties as there's a little bit of dodging going on. But I think it's pretty fair to say that the French have got the advantage. Oh, I don't know, it's pretty equal, I have to say, between the two. And you can see now some more members of the 4E being trimmed off the line. The guys got to move quickly, keep their lines together, keep the gaps as little as possible, and that will interfere with your reload and other facts as well. So now you can see the 4E moving closer. And the dodging begins as they try and move into melee range. Look at that fine dodging coming in from Stefan. And now you can see the 96Y break an attack. And look at them as they are slowly pinwheeling round here to the left, forcing Stefan to run backwards. And he's got to be careful because he's fighting against 4 people as Narish gets taken down. And also, there's another kill. Look at that. Fantastic stuff coming in from Pontonnier. Or Pontonnier. Look at this. Fantastic stuff. Fine melee work, and now he's going over to support what could be his... Yeah, it's his commanding officer. And this is the kind of thing you'll see in line battles where you want to keep together with a buddy, with a pair, in order to maximize your chances. And look at this. They're trying to stay together as much as they can. The members of the 4E. You can see the center 2. There we go. Look at this. And they're slowly being forced into sort of separating as best they can. Look at them keeping together. Backs to the wall, quite literally. Oh, look at that. And they jump into the 96Y as one of the enemies gets killed. Then, unfortunately, Pontonnier gets taken down. Look at this. These fine fellows here from the 4th, fighting for their lives. The French closing in from all directions as down goes Owind. Oh, that's changed the battle. Oh, this is not good. Oh, dear. It's Descent going in for the final kill as Lovecat is fighting for her life. And she is slain right at the end. Wow. No love for cats, apparently. Go figure. Ah. Well. There we go. And it looks like we've lost somebody off of the 4E already. But somebody has come in to support them. So, 5 rounds in the first half. Probably going to be 5 rounds in the second as well. And right now, the 4E have work to do. The 96Y have the advantage in this half. And look at this. Here's the 96Y engaging with the fire already. But no, they pull back. As immediately about facing there, the 4E try to get that advantage. And there they have to about face again because they can't form the line quick enough. And there we go. The dozy-do that is the norm for these battles continues. And there we go. Another. And here you can see the members of the 96Y. A couple of shots off. But unfortunately, no connections in that regard. So, here we are, looking at the members of the 4E. There's the about face. Oh, the line suffers a little bit in its form. But, oh, here we go with the 96Y and Shogun. Killed almost immediately, and Futi as well. And we also lost Pontonnier and also Triez. Look at this. And now you can see Kill pulling back as he's under attack by Skycrim. Or Psycrim, sorry. Or Psycrim. God, I'm terrible with names, but you guys already know that. Oh, look at that. I still marvel at the skill involved in Napoleonic Wars melee combat. Probably doesn't help that I'm completely total arse at it, but never mind. So, Kororo. And you can see now the members of the 96Y are in danger of being encircled. Oh no, there's a teammate kill. Lovecat has just killed Luron. That's going to be an important moment there as far as the 96Y are concerned. Can they make the most of this situation? Let's look at the numbers. 4 versus 8. Oh, the Russians. The Russians have a massive advantage. Kill looking to try and defend himself. Goes in for a cheeky poke. Who doesn't like a cheeky poke? And look at that, as other members of the 96Y are continuing to fall. And down goes Kill as the last man standing. And a fine return there on the scoreboard for the 4E. So, 2-1 in this particular half right now. Good stuff indeed. And there we go. Look at that. 4-4. Wow. So, technically speaking, it could end up as 5-5. So, at 4-4 right now, if somebody can get 2 rounds in succession, they will take the match. We could end up with a draw. We'll have to wait and see. So, Kill and the 96Y, the ones to take the first pot shots. As now you can see the 4E moving up closer. Stefan moving into position. Bringing the boys with him. Trying to do the damage as quickly as they can. Are they going to get into a line position? Here we go. The snaking. The snake chess begins. There we go. 2 rounds left. And here we go. The circle starts to form. The circle of life. Yeah, we're not going to do any kind of that Elton John singing. None of that crap. Oh, goodness. Oh, look at this. 96Y having a little bit of a shot. A pistol shot sneaky out of there. But there we go. Look at this. The 4E moving in. But they haven't formed the line yet. But it looks like the 96Y were going to form a line. This might be an opportunity for the 4E to get in there. Oh, down goes Syacrim. Poor Syacrim is down. The only casualty thus far on the 4E. And let's see how the 96Y are going to do it. There we go. You can see them. Look at that. He picks up the fallen musket of his enemy. And now you can see them pulling backwards. As there we go. It pulls backwards and forms a line for a quick shot in. Oh dear, that didn't go as well as they would have liked, I don't think. The 96Y now coming under fire from the 4E over here as they form a nice line into the members of the 96Y. And it looks like Timefall has been slain for a rule infraction. Now, let's just wait and see what happens. As now you can see the standard tactic in this kind of group fighting. The snapping and breaking off of each of these players so it becomes a 2-on-1 situation. As Kill is fighting against his enemy. Orwind with a fine stab into Kill. Lovely stabby goodness coming in from that man. Oh, Narish takes a bayonet to the face. Brutality right now, as now you can see them. As French people are currently... Here we're looking at Untof Afuti. It's currently not going well for him. Oh, he goes down and the last Frenchman remains. Who is the last man standing? It's Alex 123, Grenadier, and now Corpse. So, 5-4 to the 4E. This is going to be a key round as far as the 4E are concerned. A very key round as far as the 96Y are concerned. Now, if the 96Y can take this round, then they will possibly look at a situation where they could tie it up. If they lose the round, then the 4E could end up victorious. So, let's find out what they got planned. Oh, look at that! Sonia taken down with a massive headshot. Look at that, from that distance as well. Just beautiful shot indeed. And his reaction, meh. Yeah, it's kind of sucks really to be involved and killed that early in the round. He could almost be called Aztir or Malekith. But you never mind. Or even Smollett, based on his track record. So, Stefan and the 4E moving out, moving closer to their quarry, who are up ahead, nearby. And look at this. Just on the edge of the hill, and another shot! Oh, Nanix. Fantastic shooting coming in from the 96Y. A kill onto Floral, who must have taken a few bullets previously to be so damaged from that distance. But, hey-ho. That means now 2 deaths, 14 versus 15. The 96Y have a very small advantage when it comes to numbers. Look at this. They were going to form up the line and shoot, but they decided not to, obviously conforming to the rules of the Napoleonic Wars League. And now you can see the about face was given. And there's O-Wind, and there we go. There's another about face, courtesy of the 4E. We look to the 96Y. And there we go. Oh, what's happened there? Was that... Oh, dear. That was an about face there by the 96Y. And unfortunately, it looks like the line got a bit separated. That could be a very serious problem for the 96Y. They need to win this round. They need to try and lock it up as far as they're concerned. As there we go. Toxic DC gets killed by Desant. And now you can see another line moving around. Look at these guys going round and round and round in circles. And they're going to break and possibly melee as Owen gets taken down as the line gets formed. And the 96Y are taking casualties as in comes the fire from a line of the 96Y. Fine murdering occurring. Lovely stuff indeed. And Manix being finished off. And look at this. Now they're breaking and attacking. Stefan, the Lieutenant General, gets killed at long distance. And this is a very, very important round. 7 versus 12. The 96Y have the advantage. Down goes Luron. And they have the advantage. Can they push that advantage? As right now, they are trimming down the numbers of the 4E. The 4E are still trying to fight for their lives. As Pontonia is currently... Oh dear, he's going to get diddled. And he did. And there you have it. 5-5 between the two teams. So my thanks to the 4E and the 96Y for a battle well fought. And I hope you boys and girls have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and of course our thanks go out to all the organisers and the admins as well. We'll see you again for more Napoleonic Wars League.